Welcome to the Taking the Lead podcast, where we empower people to be unstoppable. I'm Christina Hepner with my co-hosts Leslie Hoskins and Timothy Cuneo. It is Blindness Awareness Month. I know we've talked about it a few times, but we have to keep talking about it because it is such an important month for us at Leader.
Yes, very exciting things going on this month. And especially this week was White Cane Safety Day. This is a holiday that is observed since the year of 1964. And it's really to celebrate the accomplishments and capabilities of people with vision loss or blindness. So it's a very exciting day. White cane power, kind of everybody's out there. And so we've done a lot of things. I know Barry was off in Texas at some different events. We, of course, celebrated on campus. Timothy, did you do anything? I hope you at least went out for a route with the cane.
Yes, we did the route with the cane. I should take the day off.
There you go. That is a great way to celebrate. Even if you are not telling the truth to Leslie, at least you know.
I did now. Come on
Timothy
now.
would never lie to me. I know he wouldn't.
No,
Yeah.
never did.
No,
She would get back at me.
That's right. That's right. We've celebrated in different ways throughout the years. I remember one year on the O&M team, we decorated pretzel rods. We rolled them in white chocolate frosting and then dipped them in red sprinkles at the bottom. And that was really fun. And a lot of people or other O&Ms or cane users out there have made different earrings or decorated pens or all to look like the long white cane. We did try to dress like the cane one year and we wore white with black and red. And that was kind of fun.
Oh, bring that back.
Yeah.
You had me at pretzel.
Pretzel. You had me at pretzel. Oh my gosh, stop.
People get into it. And I think it's really cool. It's a really great day to, like I said, celebrate and focus on all the accomplishments of people who are blind or visually impaired. And also the cane. The cane has come a long way.
Well, and also if you haven't thought about a Halloween costume.
Ooh, there's still time to be a cane.
You could be a cane. I love that.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, maybe I can talk my kids into that. Maybe one of them could be a guide dog. One of them could be a cane. Too funny. Well, It's been a really great week and continues to be a really great month celebrating blindness awareness.
It's something to celebrate. It's a big impact in somebody's life, getting a cane and getting the mobility skills.
Absolutely. Yeah. That is a really big step. So many times we hear from people who, don't think that they should be using a cane because they do still have some remaining vision. So explaining what legal blindness is and that majority of people who are legally blind actually have some remaining vision. Because there are so many times we talk to people and they're like, but I can still see. So they don't want to be, quote unquote, faking blindness if they're using a cane. So just getting that out there that yes, majority of people who are legally blind have some remaining vision. If you are noticing that your travel is impacted by your vision, you're tripping on things or running into things or not leaving your house at night, maybe these might be all really good reasons to look into a mobility device such as a long white cane.
And we have our free services.
We're available.
So
give
us
a call. That's right. That's right. Lots to celebrate. But today we are celebrating something different. We have two very special guests with us here in studio who are both team members at Leader Dog and also are volunteering as a team.
Yes, Casey Kroll is the executive assistant to the CEO and Emily Williams is the marketing administrator at Leader. However, we are here to talk with them about future Leader Dog Graham. That's spelled G-R-A-M for anyone who's wondering. And they're raising future Leader Dog Graham along with myself and some other team members as part of the corporate puppy raising model.
Casey and Emily, welcome to the podcast. I got the pleasure of meeting Graham earlier this year in September. He's a great dog. Casey, do you mind telling us a little bit about Graham?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. First of all, I'm so excited to be here. Graham has become my entire personality. He is my absolute favorite subject to talk about. So Graham is actually in the studio with us. He is a 5-month-old, 75% golden retriever, 25% Labrador retriever, and he is 100% a good boy. And he's also black. So
yes.
He looks like
100% a good
boy. He looks like a black golden retriever, which, if I'm not mistaken, is one of the very first litters to be mostly black golden retrievers, which is very unique. And we're honored to have him as a part of our new family.
Yes. I mean, when we first saw his litter, it was love at first sight.
I mean, we really should talk about that very first day because we were celebrating Christina's birthday. I think we were all having lunch, and somebody, I think Cheryl, who's another one of the puppy raisers with you guys, mentioned that there were black golden retrievers. And we were like, what? That doesn't exist. We've never heard of that before. She showed us pictures, and I don't know, what was it, 15 minutes later, you guys were all signed up?
Yes.
We walked over there. We met either Graham or one of his brothers, I believe.
Yeah.
And then within 20 minutes, our applications were submitted to become puppy raisers. We were picking him up 2 days later to take him home. It happened really fast.
Yeah, it was a whirlwind.
Talk about jumping in with both feet very quickly.
I know. Leslie and I always talk about that I never just like ease into anything. I jump in with both feet.
Yeah.
So
as you did that day. And Emily is here. Thank you for joining us, Emily. Emily, you were newer to Leader Dog, and you also dove right in.
Oh, yeah. I think I was only at Leader for maybe a month.
Yeah.
And we all
what a
were
way to
sitting
break
in
her
this
in.
meeting. Oh, yeah. You know, as kind of Leslie said, I jump in with both feet with a lot of things. And it was a very yes and kind of group. We were like, oh, this puppy's adorable. We could raise him. Well, if he stays with you for a little bit and then he stays with you, then we could do this. Yes, and yes, let's go. Okay, his name is Graham. Let's go.
yeah, yes. I will say Leslie did have a say in the name because a lot of people on the marketing team, not everybody's on the marketing team. Casey is still part of the marketing. She used to be.
I'm an honorary marketing team member.
So Leslie actually helped pick the name out.
That was one of the things that, I mean, I was trying to get them all together as a team. Like, if we can't name the dog cohesively as a group, I'm not sure we can raise the dog cohesively as a group. But we were trying to come up with names that were like inspired by marketing. And so Instagram came up. So Graham was kind of the name that we said it, and everybody kind of instantly was like, yes. And that's when they signed the papers.
And, you know, I think this starts a really great trend. You know, we could do link for LinkedIn, you know.
That's actually
Got a
really,
lot of things going.
That's true. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, we're already talking about the next one, ladies.
Yeah. So let's talk just a little bit about what the corporate model of puppy raising is. So puppy raisers are all volunteers. So we're all volunteering to do this. And that corporate model is for corporations. So any corporation, if you're listening, you guys can do this too. You can have multiple team members be a part of raising this puppy. So what it does for the puppy is it gives it so many different environments. So I have 2 dogs. Emily has a cat. Casey has 2 cats. So Graham lives with a lot of different friends and family members, both cats and dogs. And we each have the dog for a certain amount of time. So if you're thinking about doing that corporate model, it's really great because then you can bring the dog to work too.
Mm-hmm. And we should mention there are a couple of puppy raisers in this group that are not here with us today, but just because limited headsets and microphones sometimes with this podcast. But Casey, can you tell us who else is a part of your group?
Yeah, so there are 6 of us total. So there's Christina, Emily, myself. We have Cheryl, who's also on the marketing team, Tracy, who works in philanthropy, and then we also have Mariana, who works on the marketing team as well. So we kind of have a fun little rotation of like every 2 to 3 nights, Graham bounces around from raiser to raiser, and he comes to the office, I would say, 80% of the week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he's very familiar with Leader Dog Campus as well.
Yeah, I think one of the things that is great is that we all have gone to different puppy classes, to different puppy outings. And so he gets a lot of exposure, but we also learn a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I always say the classes are more for me than they are Graham.
So, Emily, what's it like for trying to figure out the schedule? Who gets to get Graham and who doesn't get Graham? And if you got plans and stuff?
Oh, yeah. It is a really great way to see the whole team collaborate. And I've kind of joked that it has been the sisterhood of the traveling Graham because we have a meeting about every couple months to just check through and be like, okay, I'm on vacation this week, so can somebody take Graham on this day? And we go through it all together as a group, and we really work together to make sure that nobody feels like they're burdening the rest of us by having a life. And that makes it really nice too, because it's like we get the experience with Graham, we get to be a part of his life, but it's also like you sacrifice, but there's not a ton of sacrifices made because you have a whole village helping you. So it's not like, oh, well, my entire life has become this dog, which even though it has, everybody in my life, everybody in my family is like, when are you having Graham next? And I'm like, I miss him. I don't know. But, we do know. We have this wonderful schedule. And if somebody needs to trade or anything, there's just great communication, lots of group chats, and a lot of collaboration there. And as somebody who's newer to the team, I felt like that was really great because not only am I learning about how Leader Dog works, how our puppies are raised, but it's also like I'm figuring out how to communicate with my teammates. So for me personally, this has been really great.
Oh my gosh, I think so too. Just from the outside perspective as Aunt Leslie over here, not one of the many moms. However, it's been so fun to watch you guys. I love watching the trade-offs because it's like you're giving up your baby. You're so excited to give them time, but also so sad. And it's been really fun to watch all of you guys kind of come together as a team and in all an effort on Graham. Which has been so fun. And I'm super excited for all of you guys. What would you say, I know it has been working out, seems like seamlessly from my perspective, has been the biggest challenge? Casey, I'll let you address that.
For me, it's having to give him up, actually. Having to pass him off to the next raiser. But all jokes aside, I think the hardest thing for me is the pressure I have on myself. I want to create and produce a great leader dog. I have so much pressure on myself. I know the other raisers do as well. We want him to be matched with a client. We want him to go on and provide guide dog services for the next 6 to 10 years. So just that pressure alone, but also there's so much support, not just within the raiser group that we have, but also the community of other puppy raisers, puppy counselors, the team members. It's really nice having him on campus as well, because whenever I see a GDMI, I can just say, hey, Graham's doing this. How can I correct this behavior? And they'll just give me a quick 2-minute session. So it's extremely helpful. But for me, the hardest thing is just the pressure I have on myself to produce a good dog.
And I'm sure that's so relatable to all other puppy raisers for any organization, but especially obviously for ours, that you really do want the dog to succeed. Of course, you're going to be so sad to turn them back in, but that's what you're dedicating your time to. And you're putting so much effort in. And you guys all really have. I think you mentioned briefly already, you guys have taken turns kind of going to those puppy classes. Emily, what are those puppy classes like?
They're so informative. It is one that, it's a group of all different ages of puppies, different levels of puppies, and going through different tasks like distraction training. So like walking past, a stuffed dog or walking, with a busy noise and making sure that they stay focused on their handler and, doing the relaxation routine so that our puppies know like, okay, now it's time to be rowdy and be a puppy, but now it's time to settle in. I'm in my work uniform. I need to be doing my work. And that is something that is so incredible to see all of the puppies kind of together, learning it with their handlers, focusing on their handlers, and seeing that growth in different puppies. Like the first puppy class I went to, Graham was maybe like 8-9 weeks old. He was just itty bitty little guy. And he was, he was keeping up. He was holding his own, but there were dogs there that were, right about to come back for training and, at about 12 to 13 months. And they're, doing their thing, figuring it all out. And it was just incredible to see the journey from Graham's starting point to finish with these older dogs too.
Yeah. And I will say for me as Graham's raiser, I was really nervous about having my 2 dogs at home. Because my dogs are spoiled rotten. They have their own blanket at the end of my bed. Like they can snuggle with us. And I knew that Graham has different rules. And so that was what I was most nervous about. Is Graham going to pick up on what my other dogs are doing? I will tell you the training that we put into him, he does not follow my dogs. Like my dogs are like, jumping on the bed and the couches, and Graham knows that he can't. So like if anyone's nervous about that part, because I know that is nerve-wracking if you have another dog that's, allowed to do anything they want, essentially, that this dog has rules, having the dog from a puppy and like teaching it those things from puppy stage is really helpful too. So if anyone's like feeling like, I don't know, I have all these dogs at home, I can't do it, definitely can, because he will not follow after your dogs, which is a good thing. I'm hoping my dog
Sounds like,
learns something
Christina,
from
you
Graham.
should talk to some of these GDMIs in the office that you have access to.
And my dogs are really well behaved. They just can be on the bed and the couch and
Listen, I have no room to talk. My dog does what she wants. She runs the household. And I also love the guide dog mobility instructors, GDMIs, always talk about their dogs personally are the worst dogs, right? Because they train dogs all day long. They get home, they're like, I don't have time. I'm not interested in this.
I'm not dealing with that.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I had Graham, I was going through a filing cabinet upstairs in the admin building the other day, and he was being the best boy, just laying down at my feet. I had my foot on his leash, and everybody else walking by, he wasn't distracted at all. He just laid there. And then all of the GDMIs come out of one of the offices, out of one of the conference rooms, and they walk by, and then he's rolling over. He's trying to jump up. I'm like, no, not those aren't the ones I want you to do that.
Oh, exactly. I always look at the GDMIs and I'm like, I promise he's good. I promise.
I think that's so funny. Yeah, especially talk about being nervous, like especially at the organization where Graham is going to go back to and train formally with the guide dog mobility instructors. It feels like there's eyes on you, like everybody's watching. But in reality, right, they all get it. And they're all so supportive and they know. So many of them do the same thing. Their dog, right, they're out working the dog. It's being fantastic. And then all of a sudden their supervisor turns the corner and the dog's losing it over a squirrel or whatever it is. So they definitely are so supportive and understanding. I think about sometimes, and we've talked about it a little bit here, the pressure of them, right? Whoever's assigned Graham to come into formal training, because all 6 of you are going to be watching on that end and perspective and wanting it so bad for Graham that if it doesn't work out, they kind of feel that like a little bit of failure, like they let you down. So it's a very interesting dynamic to be like an internal puppy raiser, I think.
Oh, for sure. And I think a few of us on our Graham raising team have kind of joked that it's like, we need the GDMIs to fight over who gets to train Graham. We need him to be the most popular boy.
Yes.
But, it's going to be whoever gets him is going to do such a fantastic job. And I think that we've all been working as hard as we can to set him up for success.
Absolutely.
And Timothy, I know, you have a leader dog. What is it like for you to hear, about this puppy raising journey? And I know you've kept in contact with your puppy raisers.
Yeah, it's Glacier. Matter of fact, this weekend we called the puppy raisers. So we're constantly in contact with them. And, they sacrifice a good year of their lives raising Glacier and time and expense and all that stuff. So I make them, it's a little payback to them, giving them part of her life. And they give so much to leader dogs. So that's why I do that. And they're very receptive of it. And we're friends. And that's a great relationship.
Absolutely. I do want to ask you a little bit about the nitty gritty of it, as far as like there are 6 of you raising. Like, how do you guys buy food or like that kind of like the financial side of it? And then also like the paperwork. I think like 1 or 2 of you had to be kind of like the head raiser, or I don't know. I'll let Casey, you can start kind of explaining that.
So they didn't want all 6 of us submitting applications because they knew exactly what we were up to.
Sure.
We talked to them that day after Christina's.
I remember.
We talked to them immediately following that lunch celebration for Christina's birthday. They knew exactly what the plan was. So I am listed as his primary raiser.
Okay.
And Emily is listed as his secondary raiser. But everybody else in the raising group are listed as like emergency contact for Graham on all of his paperwork. As far as dividing up the cost for food, so we get a great discount through Purina. All puppy raisers actually do receive that 50% discount. So that's extremely helpful with the cost of raising a puppy. Typically, I just go ahead and I buy a bag of dog food and I send everybody, the total. And I say, here's my Venmo, where you can drop off cash. And it's, I think, what is it, $10 every time we buy a bag for everybody.
Thank God for Venmo. Yeah. Just makes life so much easier.
And that 1 bag of dog food will last them anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh,
so
nice.
Yeah.
Not too bad then.
Yep. And then he gets all of his vaccines for free at Leader Dog with the amazing vet staff. So
that's something that I've kind of taken as one of my main responsibilities, because I just really appreciate our vet team and appreciate the ease of getting his vaccines done. He is always such a good boy when he gets his done. He got his nails trimmed at his last appointment, and he was totally, could not even care about it until he realized on the last toe what was happening. And he was like, oh, this is different. Oh, this is new. But he is just so chill, and our vet team is so cognizant of making sure that all dogs in there feel so comfortable.
I've got a question. And we've got a lot of Lions clubs that listen to this podcast, and we're grateful for them listening and our support. You don't have to be a corporation to do this. How great would it be for a Lions club to do the puppy raising just like what you guys are doing? I would think that'd be a fabulous idea.
Yeah, they definitely can. So we have different puppy raising models that you can look at on our website, leaderdog.org. Click on that volunteer tab and raise a puppy, and you can find all those options there. So we have like the pass along. So if you really like the puppy in those first 6 months, you can raise that puppy for the first 6 months and then pass it along to someone for the last 6 months. If someone who's like, I don't want to potty train, I want the dog who's half trained already and I can finish the dog's training and turn it into leader. So there's that option that Lions can definitely do. There's also co-raising, which is just 2 people. So 2 households, and the co-raising, they do require you to know each other, so you can pick your co-raiser, and Lions Clubs can definitely do that as well. And that's just kind of what we're doing on a smaller scale with just 2 people. And that also gives the option if one family goes on vacation, the other will have the dog. So kind of gives that option there as well. So there's a ton of different options now on our website. So yeah, and we do have a lot of Lions who puppy raise for us. And we are so thankful that they give so much of their time already to us. And the fact that they take that extra step and volunteer as well is very awesome. I will say the one thing that I love, and Emily and Casey, I'll have you chime in on this too, is the community. I've met so many of our other volunteers just doing outings and that sort of stuff. And it's amazing to see the passion. We all know we're very passionate about Leader because we work here. But just to see the passion that volunteers have is absolutely amazing.
Oh, it's incredible. It's something that we offer a lot of events or like fundraisers that can, feature puppies or have puppies go to kind of get used to a loud festival-like kind of event or anything like that. And seeing those volunteers at those events, working those puppies, interacting with the community and sharing their passion for the mission of our organization is really beautiful because it feels like it's more than just like, okay, we work here. Of course, we love it. We love the mission. We know the mission. Seeing someone on the outside that understands everything that goes into why we're raising these puppies, where these puppies go. It's more than just, look at this cute dog. It's like, hey, this dog is going to do something amazing with their life. And it's like, it's a really beautiful moment.
And it's really great to see, like I had Graham out at Target with me one of the last times I had him, and I ran into somebody who noticed his blue bandana, and they actually said that they had raised puppies for Leader Dog for 20 years.
Oh my gosh.
Which I wouldn't have known that if I was just shopping by myself.
Yeah.
So it's amazing to see how far this network and this community actually goes. I'm about 45 minutes from Leader Dog's campus, and there's still people in my community who know so much about Leader, which is so amazing to see. And then I'm also able to share my story with Graham with everybody else. And some people have visited our website or they said, I started my application, I just haven't hit send yet. So I'm really trying to push and get more racers out there as well.
Yes, which we always need. You guys have also done a really great job of sharing Graham's story on Instagram and other social media platforms. Do you guys kind of like rotate? Do you all have access to the Instagram, or how do you kind of decide to do that? Casey?
We do. I believe we all have access to it. There's a couple of us who typically post, or we actually have the group chat too, which everybody, whenever they have Graham, they're sending pictures or videos. So we'll always, whoever has access to the Instagram at that point, we'll just upload the picture on our story. But yes, you can follow Graham at Raising Graham. Again, that's GRAM on Instagram.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun to keep up with them. We actually have, I think we started a trend. One of the other teams has begun corporate raising as well. And I think that puppy's name is Roo, short for Rooster.
Yeah.
And they started an Instagram as well, Raising Roo, which is really sweet and fun to see. He's a little golden retriever.
Yeah. So hopefully we can make this a trend in every corporation. So, talk to your bosses, because it is great. I mean, and they say that having dogs at the workplace makes the day so much better. And it is so true. Just because, Graham has rules. You can't just go up and pet him whenever you want. He has to sit or he has to settle. And we all know that at Leader, but it is great learning experience for them. But it also is just like, even just seeing his cute face or any other of the dogs on our campus throughout the day, it just makes your day.
And it's a great team building exercise as well. So if you have a team who's just starting to work together, I think this is another great way to explore and have all those team members connect on a deeper level rather than just we're working on a project every couple weeks together.
And it feels like a very concrete way to give back because, corporate responsibility is something that's so important. And it's like, yeah, you can do like your one project a year or anything, but this feels a lot more like purposeful in a way. Like, your people that are going to be corporate raising are going to see the progress. They're going to see that through this whole commitment and grow together and then grow in knowing, well, okay, we did this. What else can we do for the community? What else can we do to support organizations like Leader Dog?
Yeah. And it's just, I could talk about it for days. But I would say, if anyone is on the fence for puppy raising, like my advice would be to come to one of our info sessions. So we're now offering them hybrid. It's the first Wednesday of every month. You can register on our website. It's no obligation. It's just a way for you to figure out, is this right for me in my lifestyle? Or is this right for my business and for my employees? So they're the first Wednesday of every month. If you come in person to our campus, you actually get a campus tour, which is very cool. And that you get to learn so much more. So we started doing that in September, and I went to that first one in September, and it was so great to see how many people came to campus. So there was a lot of people online, but the people that came to campus and got that tour, instantly they were hooked because they got to hear the stories and seeing our campus as a whole other thing. When I first started, I was like, this is the campus. But so if you're on the fence, I'd say just attend one of those info sessions, ask your questions, talk to other people who are doing it. So Casey, Emily, do you guys have any advice if someone's on the fence?
I would also say you don't necessarily have to have puppy raising or dog experience, especially with corporate raising and, the network that you do have between the puppy counselors, the staff at Leader Dog, and other puppy raisers as well. There's a Facebook group. You can reach out to anybody at any time, and they've been there. They've done that. They'll give you all of their tips and tricks. So don't feel like you need to have raised a dog for the majority of your life to jump into puppy raising, especially if you're doing it through the corporate model. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us on Graham's Instagram or on LinkedIn. We're happy to help.
Absolutely. And, if you're in the area around the Leader Dog campus or, see an event with a Leader Dog or even see, someone with their future Leader Dog out and about, like Casey was at Target, I love answering questions about Graham when I take him out and about. I'll walk around, stores, downtown areas, and, I love having those conversations and answering those questions and being that resource. And I know all of our puppy raisers are very much the same because they want to talk about their dogs. They want to talk about the process. And it's one that there's never a bad question because you can always learn something when someone is asking you, when you're telling somebody, just be curious.
I feel like we should all have a shirt that says, ask me about my puppy.
Ask me about my dog.
I think they have buttons and different things that you can get. Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day. And thank you for raising Graham along with the other co-raisers, Mariana, Cheryl, and Tracy. And obviously Christina. Oh my gosh. You guys, the look she just gave me.
Oh, boy.
But they're all three in the room. I was addressing all three. Goodness.
It's
Okay.
fine.
All three of you and the other three as well. You're doing a fantastic job. And I love watching Graham grow. And I can't wait to see what happens. Also, thank you to our listeners for listening to the Taking the Lead podcast. I'm Leslie Hoskins with hosts Christina Hepner and Timothy Cunyo. We hope you enjoyed learning about Casey and Emily and the important role they play in the Leader Dog mission. Please join us next time as we continue to dive into the world of blindness.
And if you'd like to learn more about applying to our free services or volunteering to be a puppy raiser, head to leaderdog.org or you can call us at 888-777-5332. Don't forget, you can reach us at takingthelead@leaderdog.org with any questions or ideas. If you like today's podcast, make sure to hit subscribe and check us out wherever podcasts stream.